We're talking about what I think is a really, really important topic at the moment, and that is work. And for a lot of us, our workplaces have certainly changed. Many people working from home, many people doing a hybrid of home and in the workplace. But, with all that's going on in the world at the moment, you can start to feel a little bit overwhelmed, whether it's that sense of, gosh, are things ever going to go back to normal, or I just don't feel quite right. I'm agitated. So let's talk about how you know that you're feeling this overwhelm.
Well, it's, you can even just as you're talking now and, you can hear the pitch of the voice and all that, you can actually feel when you're overwhelmed. You're in this heightened state. Your emotions are in this heightened state. Your breathing might be fast. So I always say, first, be aware and mindful that something isn't quite right, that you are in overwhelm, because when you know that you are, then you can do something about it. But if you don't know, then you could be actually a bit like a tornado going around the office or even in the home office, disrupting everyone, disrupting the family, and you don't realize you're doing it. So awareness is key.
Once you know, that's the key to unlocking and saying, okay, this is where I'm at the moment. There's some strategies that we can employ to make us less overwhelmed.
Absolutely. There is so much you can do. So once you actually recognize that you are overwhelmed, you may want to do a little bit of inventory and say, well, who do I need to apologize to? Who have I upset? We do need to take ownership for our behavior and even for our physical body and our health. It's like, okay, I am going to do something about this. So what I suggest is actually even get a pen and paper out and jot down some of the areas where you notice that you are overwhelmed. So you may notice that it's just in the home that you're actually finding that you're agitated, you're around the same people all the time, you're not getting space. So just realize that, acknowledge it, and then make a decision that you will make a change there.
I think that's really important, because if your workplace and your home life is blurred, it can be very difficult to maintain a sense of, well, I'm at work now, or I'm having quality time with my family. Both of those things can start to become a little bit entangled with one another, and that, in so many senses, can't be a good thing.
Well, no, because you're in a different identity when you're in your work mode. You're productive, and, for us women, we tend to be a little bit more masculine, maybe. So if you then take that masculinity into your home life, then it's going to be a bit tough. So it's about having a good way of transitioning from one identity to another and having good boundaries. And you may make those boundaries just with the clock, between 1 and 3, I'm in work mode. And do it that way. That's one thing you can do. But when you decide to make a change, it's really important that you make the change measurable. And what I mean by that is you can't say, oh, well, look, I just want to feel better at the end of this week. You can't quite measure that. It's like, okay, what can you actually do so that you can say at the end of the week, hey, I've achieved that because I put a bit of effort in it and I can see a different result.
When it comes to, I suppose, how we feel, one of the aspects which seems overwhelming is this is something that will not end. It seems that we cannot get away from the things that are putting pressure on us emotionally and psychologically. I know this is something that you counsel other people to do, but how can we compartmentalize our life to say, hey, this thing I don't have a lot of control over. However, I'm just going to park that there and do some things that take a bit of pressure off?
Yeah, and focus on the things you can control. So those big things that you can't control, what we can control is what we feel about them, what we believe about them. We can control where our mind goes with that particular topic. So even if it's one of acceptance, I can't control that, then that is a good first step. One thing I love about the 12-step program is that it teaches you how to live one day at a time. And one of the things about the overwhelm right now is the uncertainty of the future. Like you said before, Andrew, when is this going to end? And that nobody knows that. And that's life, actually. Nobody knows anything in life. So this is a really good opportunity during these times of extreme uncertainty to really build that muscle of resilience and the discipline of staying in today. It doesn't mean you don't stop planning, but you stop worrying about things you can't control. Stop worrying about things that might happen in the future and focus on what you can do today and what you can put your attention to today in this 24 hours. That is the greatest tool you could master.
I think this is so important, and I love that idea of one day at a time. And if you can't do one day at a time, even 1 hour at a time as you sort of sort through these feelings. Now, if you are thinking, okay, this is something I see in my life, I want to do something about it. Well, you've talked about, pinpointing, what is overwhelm and am I there with it? But what are some other things that we can do from there on in?
Well, last week we talked about self-care. Physical self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, but it actually means putting a bit of time aside to do that, even if it's 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening.
Right.
Anything you can do with regards to helping your body function in overwhelm, that is going to be one of the first things that it's a bit of an indicator for you. Your body starts to break down one way or another, or some of the habits. So definitely really focus on self-care, but also make fun part of that as well. Make your life a bit more playful, because at the moment there's so much serious stuff. The news feeds aren't that much fun. Introduce playfulness into your life. Like Grant's, my husband's working from home at the moment. He's at one end of the office and I'm at the other end. And we actually have a bit of fun with it. Do you know what I mean? And the cat's in the middle. So you've got to do, I'm throwing a piece of paper and he runs to Daddy's end and then Grant throws it back again. So
cat tennis, brilliant.
Introduce playfulness back into your life again.
Now, I haven't got permission to say this, but Diane Campbell has started a journey today.
I have.
Of making some radical changes in her life. And Diane, just live on the radio, I just want to say I'm happy to put my hand up to be an accountability partner. Good on you for taking the step that you've taken, looking
Everyone's
after yourself.
wondering, gosh, what has this lady done?
She had some work done? What's it? No.
No.
Explain, Diane.
Today, Tanya, was the first day I went to the gym.
You really good for you.
I know. Everyone, I told people in the office, and I don't know why, Tanya, but there was laughter. I think there was
celebration.
No. I just think it was unexpected. I don't think anyone thought I'd go to the gym, but no, I actually, I really enjoyed it. No. I can't believe it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought, no, this is something I'm doing for myself. I've got a thing now that I'm, a program that I'm doing, and I feel really good about it.
Good on you. Now, I'm not at the gym, Tanya, but I could stand up every hour and do some star jumps in the corner, perhaps. What do you reckon?
Bit of playfulness?
I think you could. Absolutely. Do anything to just get up and walk. Do a few press-ups on the floor.
As long as no one's filming that, I'm happy to play along.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with the exercise, you've got to make it fun, because if you don't enjoy something, you won't stick it out. So it's really good to hear that you enjoyed it, Diane.
Well, look, I'm surprised, I have to admit, but no, I had a very good time. It just was a lot more relaxed atmosphere than I was thinking it was going to be. And yeah, it was a bit of fun. Yeah, enjoyed it.
You'll have to show us your biceps in a month.
Oh, look, honestly, I was working on my arms today, so yes, I will.
You look taller somehow as well, Diane.
I'm sitting up straight. Yeah, it is good. And, I think that's something that I've really decided this year. Actually, that's one area I can work on in terms of, self-care. But I think it is really important to address all of those things, physically, emotionally, spiritually, some really good action steps, including playfulness, which I absolutely love. Hey, Tanya, this is such a great conversation, and we'll make sure that we get this up on the website. But if people want to find out more about what you do, maybe listen back to some of our other conversations, what's the best way to do it?
Well, you can find all of our other conversations on my YouTube channel. Just Google Tanya Unkovich, and also my website, tanyaunkovich.com.
I'm off to do some star jumps, Tanya. Really good to talk to you again. Thanks for being on the program.
My pleasure.